I will never allow PNPism to come back in this country.
Welcome to the Poets Garrison. Locked. What is a garrison, you might ask? Well, traditionally, a garrison is a military outpost where troops are gathered to protect a particular area. But no, that's not the garrison I speak of. If you're Jamaican, then you would know exactly what I'm talking about. From a Jamaican perspective, a garrison is typically an inner city community or a ghetto, or as Americans say, a project. Now, citizens or residents of a garrison community are politically monolithic, meaning they tend to vote the same way all the time. 95% of the votes go to one candidate of one party all the time. And their underground activities are controlled typically by a Don, like one Don. They have their own rules, their own underground laws. It's mental. My garrison is my dome, my thoughts, my brain. The Poets Garrison. I am the Don. I rule supreme. I let in who I want. I kick out who I want to. I entertain what I want to. I defend what I want to. It's my garrison. No guns. It's mental. No guns. Word plays and puns. Welcome to the Poets Garrison.
We asked him what else he had up his sleeve and why at the time was he listed as being behind on his property taxes. Where is the...
Greetings and welcome to the Poets Garrison. I am your host, Phil the Poet. And if you're joining me for the first time, I thank you from the bottom of my being. My regular viewers and subscribers, as always, is enough love and much respect. Now, today I want to talk about a subject that I've spoken about many times. Andrew Holness and his leadership of Jamaica. Now, today I saw on the internet a clip that says, quoted Andrew Holness, that says he will never allow PNPism in the minds and the leadership of Jamaica. I had to scratch. I went and found the video and I want to share it with you today. Now, according to what Andrew had to say, PNPism was the selling of government papers to get rich on the back of that, and the people in the leadership of the PNP wanting to come back into the leadership so they can get richer. And I hear talk about bad mind and all of that. Now, take a listen to Andrew Holness.
PNPism, and I want you to listen to this one good, that destroyed the entrepreneurial class of this country. When they realized that borrowing was such a sweet thing, that they don't really have to run the economy, all they have to do is keep the interest rate high so that people with money don't bother use it to do anything productive. They take that money and put it under government paper. You remember that? Buy government paper. That's all they used to do. Buy government paper. Now hear me now, watch me. During that period of time, that 18 and a half years of high interest rate and high borrowing, it means that many of you and your parents could not be employed because the money in the country, which should be used for productive things, them just take it and hand it to the government, and then the government is obligated to pay them back high interest rate. So terrible it was that one of their own members, a man of the cloth, a religious man, his conscience couldn't help him. He had to speak the truth, and he said that what PNPism did was the greatest transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich in this country. Now tell me, which rich man, which Tapanaris man was the recipient, the beneficiary of the greatest transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich in this country? You tell me who? tell me who? I have so much things to say. I will never allow PNPism to come back in this country.
They got so much things to say right now. They got so much things to say. They got so much.
So, I have some questions for Andrew, the Prime Minister. I'm not calling anybody honorable because I have no reason to call a bunch of these people honorable. But how would you prevent, who gives you the authority to prevent anything from happening? You can prevent people from getting into your house or stuff like that. But for the country, how can you prevent the PNP from doing anything? Because if they are going to do what you say they will do, they'll have to become government. How do you prevent a party from becoming the government? How? Isn't that the duty and the rights of the people? How can you circumvent that? How can you get your own will imposed on the situation? I don't get it. So for the PNP to do PNPism, they would have to be in government. And you say you will not allow it, as if you have some rights that you can stop things. You're going to not call election? You're going to turn it into a dictatorship? There'll be no respect or no regard for democracy? I don't understand. I saw a clip previously of you talking about the FinSac and people who got rich off whatever they got rich off. How you claim they got rich. The issue for me is that at least you know how they got rich. Now, you seem to have totally divorced yourself from the fact that you, as the leader of the country, is in a situation where your assets and your liabilities still can't be confirmed by the body you set up to do such confirmations. Your wealth, your assets and your liability outstrip your revenue, and you can't show the people them how you come by or what you do otherwise to come by it. But yet you have time to spend talking about things that have happened before, or what things that people might want to do and what you will allow and what you won't allow. Your government recently released the redacted FinSac report, to my disappointment, because I wanted the entire report to be made available to the public so we can see who benefited, who in your government, who on the opposition side benefited from the FinSac. But no, you just put out a redacted portion of it. You have said it a million times before. You've got to check for yourself. Now, check yourself. Because the head of the stream, money, bro. There's a whole bunch of people you cannot convince that you're clean. You're taking people to court, taking the IC to court, you're threatening lawsuits here, there, and there, and nothing. And a matter of fact, they initially said there were 6 persons being investigated for illicit enrichment. Well, that 6 later became 8. And then we hear that you were one of them. So we know it's not a fairy tale. There is actually people being investigated for illicit enrichment. So we know about 1. What about the other 7? You don't think we need to know who the other 7 are? I can go back to, I think, 7 years ago when the TV station, local TV station called 18 Degrees North, did an interview with you and asked you some very pertinent question about your riches and your wealth and your avoidance of taxes. You tried to dodge every single question. You tried to change, to break the vibe, the flow of the interviewer. Every time she tried to put you, to hold you to a point. And yet I think you promised to make information available to the public shortly after. 7 years ago. And I still haven't heard any such. You know what the fuck? Take a little clip, a little look at the clip from 18 Degrees North from 7 years ago.
We asked him what else he had up his sleeve and why at the time was he listed as being behind on his property taxes.
Where is the economy going? Have you done any analysis of your tax plan and what economic growth is going to look like in your first year?
I wouldn't want to give you a specific figure.
But your analysis must have produced something that is tangible for the people to understand.
Yeah, but I didn't say I would give you that figure.
But it has produced a figure?
Of course.
Okay.
Otherwise, why would we do the analysis?
Give me a general sense of where we have on the low and the top end.
I would say to you that if you're going to talk about economic growth, you should be above 3%.
Okay. That's a fair statement to make.
Right.
Let's talk about some of the other taxes that you, tax incentives and lower rates. And
So in
I think there was
general-
mention of some transfer taxes as
so
well.
in general,
and
you want to, our tax plan is to reduce transaction taxes. A part of economic growth is to get the velocity of transactions increasing, and particularly in construction and real estate, because those are major employment areas. So we will bring to the levels which we had them before our transfer tax and stamp duties, and estate taxes as well.
You seem to don't like taxes too much because
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm a small government, free enterprise person. I believe that markets work best and taxes are distortionary.
Okay. Is that why you didn't pay the property taxes on the home?
All my property taxes are paid.
On the THS website, when we did the valuation numbers for your properties, the outstanding taxes are there.
No, my taxes are paid.
When we looked, there was your Great House Boulevard property. There was your property that's owned by ADMAT, which you say you're the sole director of. And then there's another property that we actually found under ADMAT as well, up at Wycliffe Close. All three were outstanding. And then we saw that at Wycliffe Close, taxes seem to have been outstanding since 2009. What about the other property, though, at Wycliffe Close?
That I would have to check on. I mean, that's been there for a little while, so I'll have to check on. But I don't want to distract from the message.
No, but you are the person that's saying that you don't necessarily love taxes, yeah?
Yeah.
And
but
you are the lead. You are a leader of this country, potentially the premier leader of this country come next week. And so I'm asking you the question, as the leader of a country, do you believe that your taxes should have been more up to date than the record reflects?
What I'm saying to you, from my best recollection, I've paid my taxes. Now, if it is that they are outstanding, it's not an issue to pay them.
Okay.
I'm not hiding from taxes.
But ADMAT is designed for you to avoid potential estate taxes and transfer taxes.
No, it's designed for estate planning purposes.
For estate planning purposes, that means basically that you avoid some sort of taxes. And I'm saying, does it look good for a leader of a country?
I'm not clear that when we set it up, it was never to avoid any kind of taxes. And it's not likely that I would be able to sell everything. It was set up merely as a way of holding assets. So it's a holding company. That's it. But in any event, let's be clear. Any citizen of any country is permitted. It's not illegal to establish, and many persons have.
No doubt. I'm not talking about the legality. I'm more talking about does it look good for a leader to be trying to set up their situation so that they avoid paying tax?
No. Any company can, I think, avoid being in a situation. Look, my view on the matter is this. You should plan your estate and plan for taxes the best way possible.
You just said a while ago that you don't see a sense where you would be able to sell everything. What's everything?
No.
What's everything?
You mentioned two properties.
Right. There's Wycliffe Close, which is an open land right now.
Look, we'll talk again.
No, one thing I wanted to ask you.
I think you've gone
hold
over the 10 minutes.
Hold on, Mr. Holness. Mr. Holness, I must ask you.
I find that very, very interesting that those accusations were laid at the feet of the Prime Minister and still they haven't been laid to rest. Now, I know the Prime Minister is under stress, under pressure from enemies within his own party, pushing for him to step down. I know that. And he said that he was going on a charm offensive. A charm. Is this your charm offensive? I mean, I don't understand. I don't understand. Is this your charm offensive? So your charm offensive is to disregard democracy and say, I will not allow. Oh, who gives you the right to allow anything? It's not your personal domain. How? You're not going to call election? How? If the people, the will of the people says that they want to change the government, you can't. What are you going to do about it? What you going to do about it? I don't necessarily get what you guys are doing. And it seems to take the people for idiots. You talk about bad mind. What bad mind got to do with government? Governance. What bad mind got to do with that? People are trying to get rich again and blah, blah. Like what? What a bad mind you for? The way you're running the country or your accumulation of personal wealth? Is that what a bad mind you for? The wealth you can't explain. And you seem to want everybody to forget that this is an issue. I know the polls are saying one thing. I know you're under pressure. But calm down, man. Calm down. Let me hear your thoughts in the comment section as to what Andrew Holness attempt or his promise that he won't allow. What he can and what can't allow. He won't allow the PNPism. Remind me of a certain candidate running for a major position in another democracy elsewhere in the world right at this moment. Very canny, the resemblance. Or uncanny. Let me know your thoughts. And until next time, as always, it's one love, enough manners, enough respects. Blessings. Thanks for watching.